All right, I'd like to call the Township of Wainfleet regular council meeting of March 24th, 2026 to order. Please stand for the national anthem. We would like to begin this meeting by acknowledging the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee peoples, acknowledging the One Bowl and Spoon Treaty. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Okay, seeing none. So please note that these meeting proceedings are being broadcast live, recorded and made available through the Township website and youtube.com. I'd like to invite the community to attend the 8th Annual Community Open House and Free Skate at the Wainfleet Arena on Tuesday, March 31st from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. This free community event aims to showcase local services, resources, and volunteer opportunities available in the Wainfleet community. There will be booths set up in the lobby and Moore Room and photo ops with the Easter Bunny, pizza and drinks available by donation in the Friendship Room and Senior Center, and a food drive to benefit the Port Cares Food Bank. The 2026 Drainage Program Open House will be held April 9th from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Wainfleet Firefighters Memorial Community Hall. Staff will provide a brief presentation on the municipal drain system and proposed 2026 maintenance schedule. Our next regular meeting of council is going to be Tuesday, April 14th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Are there any announcements or remarks from members of council? Okay, seeing none. Okay, we're going to move into the adoption of the previous council minutes. So I have a motion that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held March 10th, 2026 be adopted as circulated. Can I have a mover and seconder? Councilor McClellan, Councilor Anderson, thank you. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, then I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? All right, that is carried. Okay, we have no public meeting, no delegations, no consent agenda. So we're going to move to staff reports and recommendations. So the first one being memorandum respecting the Integrity Commissioner Services. Ms. Christina, can you please provide a brief overview of this memo?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you, this is just a memo proposing that we enter into a new agreement with ADR Chambers and would allow us to just continue on in the same fashion that we have for the past several years under the same terms and conditions and fee structure that we are currently enjoying. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. So with that, I have a motion that this memorandum be received and that the council approves the appointment of Michael L. Maynard as the Integrity Commissioner for the Township of Wainfleet for the term of April 1st, 2026, ending March 31st, 2031 with ADR Chambers, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute an agreement with the ADR Chambers effective April 1st, 2026 for the provision of Integrity Commissioner Services for the term ending in 2031. Can I have a mover and seconder? Councilor Anderson, Councilor McClellan, any discussion? No? All right, I will call the question. All in favor? Opposed? All right, that is carried. Okay, now moving on to fire staff reports. So we have FSR 1 2026 respecting the 2025 annual report. Chief Alcock, can you please provide a brief overview of the report?
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I'm pleased to provide a brief overview of the 2025 annual report for Wainfleet Fire and Emergency Services. In 2025, the department responded to 201 incidents with the average response time of 10 minutes and 44 seconds. The majority of our calls continue to be medical assists and motor vehicle collisions, while structure fires accounted for 16% of our responses. Our team of approximately 60 paid-on-call volunteer firefighters contributed over 10,600 hours of service, providing a highly cost-effective model that delivers strong value to the township. In addition to emergency response, we maintained a strong focus on training, firefighter certification, public education to ensure compliance with provincial standards and to support ongoing community risk reduction strategies. The department also made continued progress in strengthening infrastructure, equipment, and long-term planning. All 3 stations are now recognized under Fire Underwriter Service Survey for grading, reflecting Council's investments in staffing and apparatus and facilities. However, there are key priorities to move ahead into 26, including the replacement of aging apparatus, along with continued facility needs. As we look forward, our focus will be on meeting the 2026 mandatory firefighter certification requirements, completing the new master fire plan, obtaining our Superior Tanker Shuttle accreditation, and strengthening local partnerships to enhance service delivery. Overall, the department remains well-positioned to continue providing reliable, efficient, and professional emergency services to the residents of Wainfleet. Any questions?
Thank you, Chief. So with that, I have a motion that the Fire Staff Report FSR 1-2026 regarding the 2025 annual report be received for information. Can I have a mover and seconder? Councilor McClellan, Councilor Anderson. Any discussion? Councilor Anderson, go ahead.
Thank you, Chief Alcott. Just a couple of numbers. Do we have still a complement of 60 part-time? And secondly, are we doing recruiting this year?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, so 60 is our target threshold. At the time of 2025, at the end, we did have 60. We have had a couple since resign. We did not recruit in 2026 to give our instructors a break of running a 6-month recruit program, but we will be running one in 2027.
Go ahead.
And a second question, do you have to get in line to go and train at that new fire building that's, I think in St. Catharines, that they just finished? Like, is that where you do some training?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, so there are a couple of different training facilities within the region that we have options to use, but historically we've always used Fort Erie and Niagara Falls.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? No? Okay. All right. Thank you, Chief. So with that, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Okay, moving on to FSR 2-2026, respecting the adoption of the Joint Niagara West Emergency Management Program. Once again, Chief Alcott, can you please provide a brief overview of the report?
Yes. The purpose of this report is to seek council support to formally adopt the Niagara West Emergency Management Program and to enact the required bylaw under the Emergency Management and Civil Protections Act. While Wainfleet has met the legislative requirements with its current emergency plan, the existing plan was adopted in 2013 and has only seen minor administrative updates since that time. In contrast, the Niagara West program was developed collaboratively with Lincoln, Grimsby, Pelham, and West Lincoln, and is in conformance with the most current legislation and best practices. It also provides a modern, coordinated approach to emergency management, including an updated plan, our program committee, and emergency control group. Wainfleet has already been participating in the shared service model since 2019, and the updated agreement in 26 aligns with the updated legislative changes. Formal adoption of the program will strengthen intermunicipal coordination, improve access to specialized resources and personnel, and provide the township with a secondary emergency operations center without the need for capital investment. There are no new financial impacts, as costs have already been included in the operating budget for the last several years. Staff are therefore recommending that council receive the report and enact and adopt the bylaw that's proposed.
Thank you, Chief. So with that, I have the motion that the Fire Staff Report FSR 2-2026 regarding the adoption of Joint Niagara West Emergency Management Program be received, and that council enact a bylaw to adopt and implement the Niagara West Emergency Management Program for the Township of Wainfleet. Can I have a mover and seconder? Councilor McClellan, Councilor Anderson, any discussion? Councilor Anderson, go ahead.
Thank you. Back to you, Chief. On the regulation, I think it's a 380. It's a long document. I only read some of it. So on part 2, that's municipal standards. So are we compliant with all of those standards? And do we become compliant because we're in this group?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So when you look at the municipal requirements, as I'm sure you've heard me report, we've been compliant with the standard since 2018. I just got notice last week unofficially that we are compliant again for 2025. There were some changes to the EMCPA in 2025 moving into 26, and this updated agreement and shared plan allows us to remain compliant with the update.
Thank you. That was my question. Thank you very much.
Any other discussion? All right. Seeing none, then I'll ask or call the question, sorry. All in favor? Opposed? So that is carried. Okay, moving on to Public Works staff reports. PWSR 5/2026, respecting the equipment rental rates for 2026. Mr. Nan, can you please provide a brief overview of your report?
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you to members of council, this report is the annual equipment rental that can be utilized by any department that requires any equipment for a specific project. Previously, we've always done it yearly, and this year we decided to do a 2-year period. And again, we've notified all current and past bidders of equipment that the opportunity was available, and it's listed in the report.
Thank you, Mr. Nan. So with that, I have a motion that Public Works Staff Report PWSR 5/2026, respecting the equipment rental rates for 2026 be received, and that council accept the attached equipment rental rate list for the use of contract equipment for the period beginning April 1st, 2026 through March 31st, 2028. Can I have a mover and seconder? Councilor McClellan? Councilor Anderson, thank you. Any discussion? Go ahead, Councilor McClellan.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Nan, do any of these companies have tracking devices on their equipment so that we all know it gets stolen, right? If we've got it rented, do they have their own, so they give us a waiver that we're not responsible?
Through your worship, most of the equipment we rent does come with operators, so they're responsible for their own equipment. At any point where we do have equipment rented, we normally bring it back to the shop if it's a smaller piece anyways.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Go ahead, Councilor Anderson.
This isn't a particular to anybody. It's just that if there is a large change in costing, I mean, the supply costing issue at the moment is kind of a crazy thing. Do we have adjustments on fees? Or is that a set fee that we're booking out to those people? I think I answered my own question, but I'm just wondering.
Through your worship, and yes, you did answer your own question. It is a set fee. We didn't incorporate any diesel surcharges or anything.
Perfect. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? That is carried. All right, so moving on to PWSR 6/2026, respecting the generator replacement. Mr. Nan, once again, can you please provide a brief overview of your report?
Through you to your worship and members of council. Yes, this is a project that was approved by council during the budget deliberations. It's for the replacement of our current 2005 105 kilowatt backup generator. During recent testing in 2025, we realized that the generator is not performing up to par, and we've lost approximately 10% of its capabilities, and that's normally due to age. During that, we also realized that the load capacity that we've currently using in our facilities had increased dramatically since 2005, and it's now undersized, and therefore staff had proposed to go with a 150 kilowatt generator and an updated splitter to go to a 600 kilowatt or a 600 amp splitter instead of a 400 to supply our needs. We did reach out to specialized companies that can provide it. We did notify quite a few suppliers, but they don't supply 150 kilowatt generators. They usually supply undersized ones. But we did manage to reach out to quite a few, and we did receive 3 bids, and they're included in the staff's report for consideration for council.
Perfect, thank you. So with that, I have a motion that the Public Works Staff Report PWS R6/2025 respecting the replacement of our backup generator be received, and that council direct the manager of operations to award the replacement of the backup generator to Feenstra Electric. Can I have a mover and seconder? Councilor Anderson, Councilor McClellan, any discussion? Councilor Anderson, go ahead.
Just third to you, Richard. Thank you, Mayor. Does the generator that we're putting in, does that have a upside capacity that we can build into?
Through your worship, we currently have 3 200-amp circuits that it'll feed coming out of that building. Right now, we only have a 400-amp splitter in the building. By putting this new unit in, we're going to be able to upsize it to the full capacity of 600 amp to supply all our needs for our entire building. If we need to upsize any bigger, that would require bigger feeds into our buildings and bigger, like everything would have to be changed in order to get any higher supply.
Thank you, Richard.
Councilor McClellan, go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I did. It's like having a wife sitting beside me. This will feed the arena as well?
Through your worship to Council McClellan, it provides some power to the arena. It will not feed the plant, but it does supply some backup power for emergency lighting, the water supply unit, because it does supply the whole, the rest of our facilities, as well as some heating capacities, but it will not run the actual arena plant.
So if we have a long-term outage in the winter, we've got to find another generator to supply to?
Through your worship, we do have a backup plan in case it does go down for several days. We could bring a unit in.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, then I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Okay, we're going to move into review of correspondence. So we have 3 items of correspondence on the agenda for consideration this evening. We'll start with the first one, correspondence item C048, request for fee waiver. Does any member of council wish to make a motion? Okay, all right. I'll start it off. I'll make a motion that we accept this correspondence and we approve the request with the condition that if there is any extra cleaning required after this is done, that they will take care of that. Yeah, any additional staff costs for cleaning will be covered by the rental. So can I have a seconder on that? Yeah, of course. Go ahead, Councilor McClellan. That's part of the, yeah, that'll be a portion of it. Okay. Yep, that's fine. Yep. Okay. All right. So with that, any other discussion before we call the question? Seeing none? Okay, then I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? All right, so that one's carried. Okay, so the second one is correspondence item C056, request for flag raising and sponsorship. Does any member of council wish to make a motion? All right, I'll make the motion that we just received this for information at this time. Have a seconder? Councilor McClellan, thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, so that is carried. Okay, moving on. Excuse me. Moving on to the third one, correspondence item C065, respecting the request for fee reduction and exemption. Does any member of council wish to make a motion? Councilor McClellan.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Again, I don't mind the reduction, whether it's 50% or whatever it is, just the cleaning bills and the insurance have to be provided, right? Pardon me? Yeah, staff costs for the cleaning, right, or being there for, as long as we don't have to make money on the building. We just want to make sure our bills are paid.
Yep.
Right, our costs are paid.
Okay. Can I get a seconder? Counselor Anderson? Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, that is carried. Okay, so with that, we are moving in straight into bylaws. So I have a motion that the following bylaws be read and passed this 24th day of March, 2026. First one being bylaw number 14, 2026, being a bylaw to establish an emergency management program for the Township of Wainfleet and to authorize the execution of shared service agreements for the provision of emergency management services between Township of Wainfleet, the Town of Lincoln, Town of Pelham, and the Town of West Lincoln. Bylaw number 15, 2026, being a bylaw to appoint an integrity commissioner for the Township of Wainfleet. Can I have a mover and seconder? Councilor Anderson, Councilor McClellan, any discussion? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, that is carried. Are there any notices of motion this evening? Oh, Councilor Anderson.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. I think this is the right sort of format, but I would like staff to bring us a report about the feasibility of requesting support from the rest of the municipalities, and the report sent to the provincial government to reduce the $100,000 fee for Sunshine List. It's 400,000 years old, and it's not relevant to today's wages and salaries. So I hope that process works. If staff could just do that.
Okay. Yeah. So Councilor Anderson, are you requesting to make the motion now, or are you just giving a notice of motion and plan to bring this motion forward at?
Let's waive the procedure and do it now, so we can, you know, they're back at Queen's Park for a couple of days. Let's catch them early.
Okay, so with that, then you'll need a seconder for that. Councilor McClellan. Okay, any discussion on it? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? Opposed? So that is carried. And now, so procedurally, so, all right, so now I'll just need a seconder for her actual motion. Councilor McClellan, any discussion on the matter?
Through you, Mr. Mayor.
McClellan? Yeah.
The only discussion is like Councilor Anderson said, that's an old number. It's 25 years old or older. If you're going to put a number, put something that's relevant to today's wages. Thank you.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, any other discussion on it? Okay, seeing none. Oh, Councilor Anderson, go ahead.
I guess I can make a suggestion to my motion. I hope that staff considers making the salary grid at the very minimum a $200,000 declaration. Thank you.
Friendly amendment? You're the seconder. Yep. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so no other discussion. I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Okay. So with that, are there any other notices of motion this evening? Seeing none? Okay, so we have no closed session, so we'll move to the bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council. So I have a motion that bylaw number 16, 2026, being a bylaw to adopt, ratify, and confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Wainfleet at its regular meeting of council held March 24th, 2026, be read and passed this 24th day of March, 2026. Can I have a mover and seconder? Councilor McClellan, Councilor Anderson. Any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the question. All in favor? Opposed? All right, so that is carried, and there being no further business, the meeting is now adjourned.